Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is If Loving You Is Wrong, Season 4, Episode 4, and the name of this episode is Enemy Secrets. I have to say that this episode was pretty decent. I actually enjoyed this one. But before I get started, let me offer my love and condolences to everyone that was affected by the tragedy in Las Vegas, as well as the aftermath of the hurricanes of Hurricane Harvey, Hurricane Irma, Hurricane Maria, and Hurricane Jose. If you can give relief and give any type of support and relief, please do so, because it is our responsibility to help our fellow man in times of trouble. So if you can actually lend support to these, current tragedies, please do so. Now, let's begin with this review. Now, the episode opens up. Randall, it actually opens up where it left off. Randall has texted Natalie that Lucian is up in Alex's house. So as soon as she goes down there, Randall is already taunting her like, "Yeah, girl, you better go up in there. They've been up in there for a minute. You need to see what's going on. I tried to tell you that he the father of that baby," and he's just taunting Natalie, and Natalie is feeding into it because he just knows that she's insecure, and he's playing off of it. And Natalie really was pissing me off in this scene because this Lucian took you out the hood, and put you in a home. Started from the bottom, now we here. You know what I'm saying? He has upgraded you, upgraded your family, has completely been there for Joey through his whole legal troubles, and, who's pretty much become a father figure to your little girls, because the only child that he has is the little boy. This man has proven time and time again that he's about you, and you're going to believe that he would step out on you with Alex of all people? Like, seriously, I mean, I would probably, if you really wanted to be on that jealous shit, I would probably put it on. I would probably be more jealous of Marcy or Esperanza maybe rather than damn Alex. I mean, Alex already got a damn reputation that, because she done slept with Randall, and that became a scandal in and of itself. So what makes you think he will want to mess with that? Seriously, girl. It's just like she was just really doing too much. So when she goes to the window, Lucian actually hugs Alex because he was there to aid Alex because Randall's been harassing her. He was blasting, I think, that new Michael Jackson song, on his radio, and he was pretty much disturbing the peace. So pretty much Lucian came there to deal with him and to give relief to Alex. So she immediately jumps to conclusions. So as soon as the door opens, she lunges and is ready to fight Alex. And then Randall, with, a.k.a. Psycho Betty, with his simple ass, is egging the damn thing on. Talking about something, "Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about, baby. Take it to the streets." I'm like, somebody fuck him up, please. He is doing too much. And then he's like, "Oh my God, why you being?" And then when Natalie's telling him like, "Shut up, you stupid son of a bitch! I can't stand your ass. I wish they hung you." And he's like, "Oh my God, why you being so mean to me, ghetto lady? You now moved in the suburbs. You done come up. You not my neighbor, and you coming at me like this? You still like?" It's like, man, it seems like, and then he kind of like made like a comment, somewhat. I'm pretty much paraphrasing that. Yeah, it seemed like you can dress him up, but you can't take him anywhere type shit. So he really was kind of going in, and then like Lucian was like, "Take your ass in the house." He's like, "I ain't gotta go nowhere." He's like, "Yo, Randall, take your ass in the house." He's like, "Yeah, okay, go ahead and make me go in the house so I can get you fired, because you can't make me, go in the house. I mean, I'm just outside. You can't make me go in the house." Like, he's just taunting the whole situation. I'm like, Randall, you are really asking for somebody to beat your ass. Or better yet, you asking for somebody to put a bullet in your dome. Because in all honesty, he is just really doing the most. And then it gets to a point where Lucian and Natalie are going back and forth. He's trying to talk to her, but she's like in her feelings, like, don't touch me, don't touch me. I want to know what's going on here. He's like, let's go inside. I ain't going over there. We ain't going nowhere. We ain't got no home. We ain't got nothing. You ain't gonna do nothing. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. And and then like Randall's like, oh yeah, don't put your hands on her. Don't put your hands on her. You heard what she said. Violence begets violence. Like, you crazy son of a bitch. Oh, you need your ass beat so bad. So that's what happened there. Then we pretty much get a scene with Lucian and Natalie. They finally walk away and they get in front of the house, and she's like, Lucian's like, look, we need to talk. And she's like, is that your baby? Is that your baby? And he's just like, you know what, you're really starting to piss me off with this shit. Like, oh, I'm pissing you off. She's like, yeah. Like, and he's like, yeah, like, what makes you think I would do something like this? Like, why was you in the house? Why was you hugging her? Why was you doing this? And he was like, you are really tripping. Like, you really think I would do something like that? He's like, and she's like, you know how I am. And he's like, yeah, I do. I know how you are. And because I know who you are, I have nothing but respect and admiration for you that I would never do something like that. That's not my baby. So why are you feeding into that? And she's like, well, why you got her number then? Like, you know, what you were supposed to come straight home. What happened? She said that she called me and I stopped there along the way because Randall has been harassing her. I went there to stop the situation, and I went in there to comfort her because she's terrified and she's really frustrated. But then she's like, well, why you got her number then? How she got her number? I mean, how she got your number? You know, how is it that she able to contact you? She said the same way that all of your friends got my number. You gave it to them. I'm like, listen, you better call her out. You know, tripping like, you know, just tripping for no damn reason and just jumping to conclusions. And that's exactly what she was doing. She immediately believed that he had a baby with Alex. Like, boo-boo. Alex lived in the suburbs. You were living in the hood. If he was going to cheat on you with Alex, would he have upgraded you and moved you just a few doors down from her? Really, bitch. Use your brain. Cut it out. So, so then she's like, well, first of all, how'd you even know I was there? And she said, well, Randall had texted me. She says, oh, well, how you got Randall's number, huh? And she's like, stop it. She's like, oh, no, don't stop it. You want to question me? I'm going to question your ass. Why you got Randall's number? And matter of fact, why the hell would you even believe Randall? Like, Randall obviously did that just to get into your head, and he played off your insecurity, and you don't even realize that. So he finally got, you know, Natalie to calm the hell down, and they decide to go in the house. But then before they do, she does let them know about Justice, and that Justice had confessed to killing Ramsey, and that he gave details. And she's like, you need to talk to him because, you know, I'm kind of scared. And she says, and I'm also upset that you moved me into this house when these people were killed in it. You know, his mama and his mother and Ramsey. Like, seriously? Well, Ramsey's mother and Ramsey were all killed in the same house. That's what I meant to say. Well, Lucia's like, look, I'll talk to him. And she's like, well, you know, let's wait till the morning. She's like, okay, you done made this big damn spectacle, and now you want to wait till the morning. She's like, look, it's late, and there's not really much we can do right now, so let's just wait till the morning. So he agrees that he'll wait till the morning. But then we see later on, her ass can't sleep because, you know, she really thinks that that Justice really did kill Ramsey. So she can't sleep a wink, and, you know, she waking up Lucian and shit. So Lucian decides to call in, you know, and we actually see that Ann is actually there with Kelly, you know, talking about the case. She mentions Travis, and he's going to look into him and also talk to the lawyer or whatever. But peep this, y'all. Did y'all catch that, you know, Ann was kind of flirting with Kelly a little bit? Like, it's making me think, okay, this dude Ian ain't to be trusted. Like, he definitely, he's fine as hell, but he got some snake he got some snakiness to him, and I can't really put my finger on it. I mean, I don't know if you guys agree, but if you guys see it, put it down in the comments. Let's talk about that, because, you know, I'm starting to see Ian in a different way, because after, you know, he talks with Kelly, and he says that he's going to try to arrange to get her bail, but then he actually says that, you know, she asks, like, okay, well, how much are you costing? And he said, I actually charge $300 an hour. And she's like, whoa, I don't have that kind of money. So immediately he just kind of was like, I'm like, okay, so we show you right there, you a money hungry motherfucker. But, you know, he's a high-powered attorney. They usually are. So he was like, okay, well, I'm doing Lucian a favor, so I'm going to do a job. And she's like, well, could you call my job at the bank, because, you know, since I'm not going to be there, because he told her that they won't be able to process her until the next day. And she's like, why? And she's like, well, hey, it is what it is. But then she's like, okay, well, fine. Tell my job that I won't be able to make it. Could you call my job? And she says, well, okay, fine. I'll tell them that you're sick. She's like, oh no, they ain't gonna fall for it. They ain't gonna go for that shit. Let them know that Justice, my son, is not doing well, and that will work. So he pretty much says that he's going to get her out of there and all of that. So we see that going on. So then we actually see after that, you know, since Natalie woke up Lucian actually calls Ian, and Ian pretty much, you know, has a conversation with him, and he pretty much lets him know that, you know, her son had made a confession that he killed Ramsey or whatever. And then also in the conversation, Ian was like, well, you didn't tell me that Kelly couldn't pay the bill or whatever. And he says that, look, you know, he's saying that you asking for a lot of favors. And he's like, yeah, and I delivered on the favor I gave you. So I'm like, check his ass, Lucian. Like, you know, it's obviously, you know, Ian definitely is, as I say, he got some snakiness to him. But I think in time we'll find out more and more about him. But just in this whole episode, I kind of noticed he was doing some snake moves. So pretty much he says, okay, he says that, you know, I really want you to come and talk to Kelly's son, because he not only confessed to killing Ramsey, but then he gave details as to what happened. So he's like, okay, fine, I'll actually come over, I'll come over tomorrow and actually sit down and talk to him, and, you know, they're going to set that up. So we saw that go down. Alright, so we got that down out the way. Okay. Alright. Then, next I'm going to talk about a scene with Brad and Alex. Brad has finally came in from helping Marcy, and you can definitely tell Alex is bothered, and she's bothered by that too. So fuck what she said. I mean, she was bothered by something else, but she's also bothered that he actually went out to help Marcy, because she's a simple jealous bitch, and she really needs to sit in the corner and have a stadium of seats. Anyway, so pretty much she lets him know that when you were gone, because he noticed that something's wrong with her, so he asked her what's going on, and she says that, you know, when you left, Randall started blasting his music, and I called Lucian, and Lucian, you know, made him turn it off. And then he was like, okay, cool, but is that all that's bothering you? And she begins to explain to Brad, you know that Randall sued for custody. They had to take a DNA test. But the DNA test results came back that Randall was not the father. And she was like, and he was like, and she was like, well, so pretty much Randall's like, well, actually Brad was like, okay, so he's not the father. She's like, but that's impossible, because the only guys I've been with was you and him, and that was it. So something must have happened. There must have been some kind of mix-up as to how it came back that Randall was not the father of the baby. And he was like, so Brad was like, are you saying it's my kid? And Alex was like, no, it's obviously not yours. And he was like, yeah, you're right about that. But then she mentions Dr. Roston, and I did mention this in a few episodes that I think Dr. Roston was the one who switched that DNA, because one, she knows the guy who handles the labs, and her husband's a lawyer, so she knows how to make some slick moves, and she made one on her end. So she pretty much, Brad was like, well, how would Dr. Roston know about this? She says that one, I've not only told her about Randall, but she's seen Randall in action, so I think she may have manipulated the results. And Brad was like, well, wouldn't that put her career on the line? And I'm like, well, and she's like, yeah, but she said that it's the only way. There's no other way this could have happened. And she said, and she pretty much tells Brad, I swear there was nobody else. And he said that, you said that before. And she's like, I know. So pretty much Brad was like, so you know that this is Randall's child. And she's like, yes, but Randall doesn't know, because he, based on the test, he believes that he's not the father, but he has come to believe that Lucian is the dad. So pretty much she's saying that, that's the only way. After that, that's pretty much what went down there. So, and then we saw, like, the next morning, she went to, she was in the bathroom, and then the baby was crying, and he actually got up and actually decided to nurture the baby, which was a big step for Brad. He's starting to bond with the new baby. And she came out and she was actually shocked, like, wow. And she said that, and she was saying that, I just didn't want to wake you because I didn't want the kids to know that you were here. Because he asked about the kids and all of that, and she's saying that I don't want to get their hopes up that you're back, and if you're not fully back. And he says, I want to be back. She says that I want you back too, and they both tell each other that they love each other. So they're getting back to their love slowly but surely. And then we actually see Ian and his ass. Ian pulls up right in front of Kelly's house, and there's a house that's for sale across the street. He actually calls Marcy to try to set up, a way for them to view the house, and he lets her know where the house is located, 357 Castle Lake Drive. Immediately, you kind of saw her stop, like, I know that area pretty well. And Ian's like, really, you do? She's like, yeah, I used to live across the street. Didn't tell him exactly where she lived across the street. Over there with her crazy-ass husband, Randall, a.k.a. Psycho Betty. So, we see that he's set up, a meeting because since Marcy's a realtor, he set up a meeting for him to look at that house that is like literally right across the street from Kelly. So I'm like, this is gonna be some shit, like, for real. And she has no idea that he's representing Kelly right now. So we pretty much see after that, Ian goes to the house with Lucian and Natalie to talk to Justin. They bring out Justin. Pretty much Justin asks Ian, like, are you the police? And he was like, no, I'm a lawyer and I represent your mom. So he's like, have you seen her? And he was like, yes, I've seen your mom. And he's like, was she coming home soon? He's like, I'm working on that, trust me. And he's like, I want her to come home. And, of course, Ian keeps assuring him that he's working on that. But then he starts asking him, like, so Lucian brings it up. He's saying that, I want you to tell Ian what you told Natalie the other night about you killing Ramsey. He's like, yeah, I killed him. And he's like, they're pretty much like, you sure that you killed him? He's like, yeah, I did it. And they asked how. Like, I came in through the back door, he was in the shower, and I stabbed him through the curtain. And, I stabbed him, like, 52 times. And And he's like, well, did he say anything to you? And he's like, yeah, he was saying, stop, 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 you know. And then they said that, and so they asked, like, okay, well, why would you do that? You know, if you did kill him, why would you do it? And he was saying that I was mad that he was taking my mom from me. And it's just so fucking obvious. This shit is being fed to him. And who else to feed that shit but Travis? And Travis was the only one that knew all of these damn details. So, and the funny thing about it, because after they meet with Justice, Lucian and Ian go outside, and Ian was like, you know, those cuts were definitely, you know, intent to kill cuts. But then he's thinking, probably, like, he probably did do it, or better yet, maybe Kelly did do this. And Lucian had to kind of like let Ian know, like, no, Kelly would not do this. And personally, I don't think this boy did this either. But whoever did this is the one who's feeding him this information, and that's where he's getting this information from. But personally, he had nothing to do with this. So it's like, that damn Travis is an evil spinster, because now he's got Kelly set up, you know, in jail for a murder that she didn't commit, and now he got her son confessing to a murder that he didn't commit. So it's just like some craziness, and everybody's just caught off guard, because Ian is believing that, you know, Justice probably did this, and like Lucian is the only one that's like looking at this like, no, there's no way in hell he could have did this. And I think, yeah, whoever killed him is the one who's feeding Justice's information. So we need to find out who that is. But we all know who the hell that is. So we definitely see that going on. So then we actually see that, that we go back to Alex, because after, you know, Brad is holding the baby, you know, Alex pretty much takes the baby to the hospital because she has said that she's going to talk to Dr. Roston as to the whole DNA situation. And, you know, every time she go out that door, that buzzer goes off that Randall has set, you know, because she set a detector to detect every time she opens and closes her door. And then this old, fast, slick little bitch, Psycho Betty, was quick to run out there to start some shit. And she's talking about, you know, hey, Lord, you know, oh yeah, I talked to the mailman the other day. Man, I don't know, he got a long tooth. I wonder if he's a damn baby daddy. And he's like, you ain't got nothing to say? And, you know, she's putting the baby in the car, and then he's like, oh, hey baby, like, just really just taunting her. And she's pretty much telling him, like, move. He's like, oh, what, you're going to run me over? Oh, great, run me over so they can take you to jail, and they can like throw away the key and all this other shit. She's like, you know what, I'm warning you. And he's like, you know what? And then Randall tells her, I'm going to make your life a living hell. Watch me. She's like, you know, and pretty much, you know, Alex kind of like let him know, like, don't mess with me. And he's like, well, all the hits that you sent out to me the first time are all dead. And she's like, I still know one. And she's like, oh, you mean Eddie, right? Well, you know, I don't see how Eddie's gonna do that. You know, he just got taken down his damn self. So how's that gonna happen? Oh yeah, and I'm definitely gonna talk about Eddie's ass. So therefore, you know, she's like, you know what? I'm warning you. Now get the hell away from my car. And then he pulls off. And then Alice pulls off. So that was the end of that. Now talking about Eddie. Eddie had a short scene with Ian. You know, first he had talked to Marcy, and I kind of feel like Ian got a thing. I think like Lieutenant Stevens got a thing for Esperanza, and you know Esperanza got a thing for them bad boys and shit. Because, you know, Lieutenant Stevens is like, she's like, I can't believe why he just won't confess. I mean, I even told him about, you know, his daughter, and he's still playing his game. I don't get his ass. Well, he says that regardless of how crazy of a father, you know, regardless of much of a crazy bastard he may be, it's a good thing that, you know, that his daughter has a great mother. and then kind of gave Esperanza this look. I was like, oh, you trying to see what's up with Esperanza? Let's see, anything is possible. But anyway, we see that Lieutenant Stevens goes in there to talk to Eddie, and he brings Eddie some food, and, Eddie ain't for the bullshit. Eddie was like, you know what, I'm not here for this crap, why don't you just come out forward and say you FBI and shit, I don't know why you wasting your time. And he's saying that, look, I don't know what's going on with you, Eddie. I don't know why you're always, high-strung, but, I'm just here trying to help you. And he's like, help me? Why would I trust anything you say, Stevens? Like, after all, you and Lucian talking about me being a crooked crop, but you motherfuckers are more crooked than I am. You know what? And then he's saying that, you know what? It's okay, because trust me, if I'm going down, I'm going to make sure that all of y'all go down. Because y'all think y'all got me trapped up. You the ones who trapped up. I mean, all them rookies being dead and all of this shit. Yeah, I'm going to make sure I'm going to put all that shit on you, Lucian, and the captain. Y'all all going down for this shit, and I'm going to be right on the other end talking to you. And he's saying that, you can't pin that shit on us. And he said that, no, I can't pin the killings on Lucian because those happened before Lucian got here. But you were here the entire time. And I'm like, see, Stevens on that slick shit. So I was like, yeah, you were there the whole time, and you knew Eddie was doing this shit, and you allowed it to happen. The only time something got done about him killing those cops is when Lucian came. Why is that? So, with that being said, so pretty much, Lucian was like, you know what, so pretty much he said, you know what, you can go somewhere with the bullshit, and, you can, all this little kiss-ass shit you doing, yeah, it may work on other motherfuckers, but it ain't working on me, so won't you get the fuck up out of here, because, if you try to convict me, I'm going to see to it that I'm going to take all three of you down. Then he go like, I wonder what this little bitch-ass got for me, and then started eating the food, because he had brought him, he actually brought him some really good food, though, so we saw that go down. So then we also see that Ian gets another call from Ian calls. Well, actually, Ian gets a call from Marcy, and Marcy says, "Okay, I got something set up where we can actually see the house around noon." So he's like, "Okay, cool." So then he goes back to the to the precinct to talk to Kelly, and he lets Kelly know that he got her bail, but they're asking for her to put up 10% of $500,000. So her fucking bail was actually set up $500,000, but they said that she can get out if she puts up 10%, which is $50,000. And she's like, I don't have that kind of money. She's like, well, you own your house, don't you? It's like, yeah, you can use your house for collateral. We can do that. So she's saying, hey, look, you want to get the hell out of here, don't you? So I'm like, Kelly, you are about to get sucked into some bullshit. And I just have a feeling that, yeah, it's going to be some shit from this point on. So I'm like, now your house is up, and you ain't got no more fucking money, and you could possibly lose your job. Kelly is about to hit fucking rock bottom. And Ian is not going to be, as far as I'm seeing, he's not going to be that helpful. Or he may have a plan. Who knows? I mean, but then, he starts saying that, well, now that we got that taken care of, I want to talk to you. I want to ask you about your son, Justice. Did he know Ramsey? And she's like, he only met him like 1 or 2 times. And he's like, well, is your son violent? And she's like, no. So you mean to tell me he didn't have a fight where he like stabbed this other kid with a pencil? And he was like, he was a bully. And how the hell do you even know that? He's like, it's my job. But I went to go talk to your son today, and he told me that he killed Ramsey. She's like, you know what? I don't give a fuck what you got to say about that. My son didn't kill no damn body. Get me the hell up out of here and let me talk to my son, because we're going to get this shit straightened out, because ain't no way in hell he killed him. So then we get a scene with Marcy is talking to Dr. Ralston. Dr. Ralston pretty much lets her know that she's in good condition, her baby's healthy, and while she's going to the elevator, she runs into Alex. And then her and Alice go back and forth because Marcy tries to see the baby, and Alice is like, no. And she's like, well, damn, bitch. Like, aren't you getting all weak in the knees? What the fuck's going on with you? And she's like, you know what? I know what you're doing, Marcy, and you need to stop this shit. Me and Brad are back together. You need to stop trying to play these little games and shit. Trying to get in between our relationship. And I'm like, Alice, you got some damn nerve because you did that shit to her man, and you mad because she messing with yours. Like, bitch, sit down. Ain't nobody feels wrong for you. And then Marcy was like, well, bitch, you did the same thing with my husband. So, and then she's like, you know what? And then Alice decided to pull a wild card. She's like, you know what? I'll tell Randall that you're pregnant with his baby. And she's like, you wasn't there. She's like, you really don't? You really don't think I'll do it? You got one fucking warning. You keep on, messing around with Brad, doing all these little things that you're doing. I'm gonna tell Randall that I'm gonna tell Randall that you're pregnant with his child. So either you step away, or I'm gonna sing like a canary to Randall. And then the next thing you know, we see Randall get off the damn elevator. Tell me what? I'm like, oh hell. Psycho Betty done made his way to the damn hospital and then looked at Marcy. What the hell are you doing here? Yeah, why is she there? Because they on the paternity floor. Good question. So that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, I started a GoFundMe. You can check out that link in the description box. As well as like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I will be back with the next episode of If Loving You Is Wrong. So until then, everybody, take care.